And I mean, that is the massive, the massive thing, worrying about what other people think. It's, but to me, I'd rather go to bed at night knowing I'm being true to myself and doing, trying to do some good in the world and have no mates than like be fake and have 1,000 mates and, just be going along with what other people are saying.
My city, my people, my heart. 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 My city, I owe it all to this place.
Welcome to the Together We Are Strong podcast, our very first podcast. We're part of An Hour for Others, the charity in Liverpool. We thought it was like a really good idea. We've been toying with it for a while now to get a podcast up and running where we can raise more awareness about the work we're doing, what we do, why we do it, how we do it. Inspire people to become part of the community, inspire people to get involved, get people on, other people who are doing amazing things in Liverpool. There's some amazing people right across the city who are doing so much positive work, trying to make the places they live better. And I think it's, brilliant that, they can come on and share their stories. The team of An Hour for Others will be telling their stories as well, which are really, really powerful stories. How we've ended up at this point in time, the work that we've done in Liverpool and, the reasons behind it. We're going to go deep onto a lot of issues, that affect the community, things that we think we could hopefully, work together and change and basically just make the city better for our kids, because this is what the whole reason why I set An Hour for Others up was, to make the city a better place and try and create a better future. So hopefully this podcast will bring a lot of that. So alongside me doing the podcast is my old mate Toddy. So how are you feeling, Todd?
I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah,
You've been flapping a bit today, haven't you?
Yeah.
So
I'm good, I'm sound, mate.
No, I'm made up to have you on, because you've been involved with the chat. Like, obviously, I've known you for years, haven't I? Yeah. And you've known me before I even had the idea of An Hour for Others. The two of us weren't we? We used to share the same types of perceptions on the world, didn't we? And we'd always have deep conversations. And then I think it was basically when I had the idea and I started doing stuff in the community, you jumped on board straight away with us, didn't you? And you were helping out and that. And then, obviously you were doing your own stuff, you were working, but in the last couple of weeks, you're actually part of the Hour for Others team now. Yeah,
it's been a long time coming, Kev, because it was like 2014, weren't it, when you started it? Yeah. And at that time, which we're going to touch on our stories, aren't we, in the next coming weeks, but at that time, I was going through a mad change in my life. So obviously knowing you for years, Kevin, and like your values and stuff like that, they align to mine too. So seeing what you were posting on social media and things like that, I was like, I'm having a bit of that. And then I remember your status that you put up in 2014, which was just the idea, weren't it?
Yeah, 2013.
2013, sorry, yeah. And then you kicked off the year later, was it? So then, obviously, in the early stages, I was involved, helping little bits, painting youth clubs, weren't we? And taking furniture and stuff and taking bikes.
You had the van, didn't you?
I had the van, yeah. Did you ever remember that big load of fucking paint that I had to put in the back of the van?
Yeah, you had all sorts. We had a load of chairs and tables from British Home Stores as well. We were flying down, but you got onto it straight away, didn't you? And like I say, our paths have aligned, haven't they, over the years, where we were going the match together, weren't we? We were, with all the lads and stuff, and then all of a sudden we started talking about kindness and just wanting to make our world a little bit of a better place, and then all of a sudden we were the weirdos, weren't we? And here we are sitting on a podcast. How did that happen?
It's mad, isn't it, Kevin? Like I say, 2014, which I'll touch deeper on when I tell my actual story, it was just, I was going through that change anyway, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And trying to live a better life, do you know what I mean? So it just happened to coincide with you starting this. So, it's mad, innit, mate? Every year at Liverpool for years, mate, best time of our lives, but it just changed then, didn't it? Like, just, my personal circumstances changed, that's why I kind of drifted away from the match, do you know what I mean? Which then you starting that thing that it was just all meant to be, it's just aligned, it was meant to be.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, obviously going back,
a story behind it.
Yeah, well, the stories will come out. That's what you know. This first episode's just going to be touching on like why we're doing this, how we got here, like the story behind and how for others. But then we'll be talking about our, you know, obviously our own life stories, you know, that got us to this point, and yours is like inspirational story from, you know, powerful story. You know, mine's the same. Jill, Susie and the girls are exactly the same. Obviously, we're going to be getting some amazing guests on. We can't wait for that. Got some good guest lines up who were doing boss things in the city. But just going back to that time, like around 2013, just so get across like where the idea come from and my way of thinking and stuff around it. Like I say, I think the two of us were getting down, weren't we, at the Wales we were seeing around us. And I know me personally, all I was ever doing was moaning on Facebook and things about like, we need to do this, what's going on here. And I was sort of having like I was in a factory at the time. And I remember just like being on the line complaining with the lads about, you know, about the Wales. And then I started to think like, I'd worked in, I'd always been a painter and decorator from when I'd left school. I'd worked in, you know, different places, but then around, I think it was around 2014, I started working in kids' homes and stuff like that. A lad I knew, good mate of mine, he was part of an agency, and he said to me, "You'd be boss working with kids," because I was always moaning about the painting to him. And when I'd done that job, I felt like I was aligned to what I should be doing. I was, all of a sudden, I was having an impact in people's lives, and I didn't even know why. People was telling me, like, you're boss at your job, you're good. And I honestly didn't even know what I was doing. So at that time, I'd ended up leaving financial reasons. I'd left to go to the factory. And around November it was 2013, I was lying in bed one night. And I was literally just thinking, you know, I need to be doing something. Even if it's alongside my factory work, I need to do something to get that feeling back of helping people. I know I'm here to help people. And then it was just like a light bulb went off in my head at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I jumped out of bed, and it was paint for some reason. It was painting. I thought, what have I got to? How can I make the world a better place? I was thinking about, you know, going to do a social worker degree. I was thinking about like, could I get back into the kids' homes and stuff like that? But then it just, for some reason, I thought, I'm a painter and decorator. I can, a couple of hours in my time every month or whatever, I can go into someone's house, an elderly person living in poverty, or, you know, kids who are struggling. I can paint the bedroom and make the bedroom a better place. And I think it wasn't that hit me, what was so big about the idea. It was when I realised the concept for the first time. I wasn't thinking about money. Like, whereas when you're thinking about a painting job, you're thinking, you know, how much will I get for that house, or how long is that going to take me? But when you took the money out of the equation, and it was like, I can use my skill to help someone, it was then that it dawned on me, every single person in the world has got something that they can give back, something that, you know, we've all got a skill or a talent, or we've all got some time free, haven't we, where we can just go and help someone. And then it was that dawned on me, that I thought, Jesus, this can be like big. So I thought, I'm going to put it out on social media. So I put it out on social media the next day, and I literally thought everyone was going to like turn around and say, Kevin, what a boss idea. I'm a joiner, I'm going to go and help like me nan. You know, I realised like that everyone can do something. But little did I realise, when I put it out on Facebook, everyone came to me and they were saying to me, Kevin, what can I do to help you? Yeah. And it was like, all of a sudden I was getting like an influx of people offering to help me. And I was thinking, I don't know, just go away and help. And you know, to cut a long story short, that was like November 2013. So I had the idea for a good like 7, 8, 9 months. A few people had come along then and said, Kevin, this has got like legs to be an organisation. There's something missing in the city where, you know, businesses with skills and a team of people, or, you know, people with skills, it's like a bridge towards the community. They're saying this is a really good idea. So I was, you know, I'd been on building sites and everything. This wasn't meant to be an organisation that, you know, there's not a chance on earth I thought it was going to be a charity. It was never set up to be a charity. It was an idea. And then I think over the years I'd met, you know, I'd spoke to you about it loads, hadn't I? You loved the idea. And then I'd met Jill then. And as soon as I met Jill, she just loved the idea. She like proper, like really, she got it, you know what I mean? And she was, because what she'd been through in her own life, she was, you know, it was like, wow, like if I'd have had something like this when I was a kid, you know, when she was going through domestic violence, she said, this would have helped me. So she got it. And she was an accountant with a real business brain. So I was like, I just wanted to run through doors with my paintbrush and start painting houses.
You was, weren't you?
Well, eventually was, I would have been. But, you know, she was like, no, Kevin, it doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? And I, like I say, I just wanted to go and paint the city, didn't I? But she, you know, and literally I just came to Jill with a jigsaw, threw it on the table, and, you know, we were just literally sifting through it. I mean, I can remember one time at the start, we sat in Wetherspoons, like, who are we going to phone? Who can we phone? And we were just phoning any business that, you know, and can you help it with this? And people were a little bit like, what is it? Do you know what I mean? People were like, didn't really know what it was at the start. But like I say, it's just grown from then. And you know, bloody hell, here we are now today. Over the years, we've impacted thousands of lives in the city. We've had
millions, made
a massive difference. It's, you know, the concept has also evolved where it's, you know, people, like I say, at the start, it was just seen as this painting and decorating thing. But at the start, like, we had mates who were saying to me, listen, I'll come and help you paint. I was saying I wouldn't have you anywhere near me house, you know what I mean? So I'm not having you in someone else's house. So then that was when people started to go away. And, you know, just say, like, listen, I can get tickets from the match. I can, you know, I can get you a caravan stay or something like that for the families that you're helping. And then, like I say, you'd help then, didn't you, at the WEC with me?
Yeah. It had to become an organisation, though, Kev, didn't it? Because, you had some bad luck, you with the painting, didn't you? And everything was just failing, weren't it? We spoke before this, didn't we, about doors shutting, so it had to become an organisation made for you to stand on this path and walk this path, what you're here to do, your higher purpose, isn't it? So, do you know what, Kev? I got it from day one, and I think you need, like, part of this podcast is explaining the deeper meaning behind an hour for others, where you're not just going out, like you say, and painting youth clubs, or you're painting this or painting that, or just giving hampers, or doing bedroom refurbishments. There's a criteria to meet, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what we need to get across, in my opinion, why we do. Well, it's going to be we now, isn't it? But why you've always done what you do. So what is the deeper meaning then, Kev?
Yeah, well, you know, obviously the first idea, it was, I think another thing that dawned on me was when I was complaining about the world. And then I thought to myself, I keep saying I want to see this world where everyone's helping each other, where communities are thriving. But
then you're not living
I was thinking, I'm not doing nothing now.
Yeah.
So it just dawns on me, if I'm not doing nothing, how's it going to happen? If I'm not doing it, who am I waiting for to do it for me? Nobody, you know, it's like, if you want to lose weight or if you want to go on holiday, there's only you who's going to lose weight for you or go on holiday, isn't there? There's no one else who's going to make that happen. So that was the deeper meaning behind it, was when I realised that it's our responsibility. If we want to see change, or if we want our lives to change, or the world to change, there's only us that can change it. There's only us that can do it. It's
accountability, innit?
It's accountability, and then I think it dawned on me, like I say, we'll talk about our stories in the next episodes and stuff, but it dawned on me then that you know, I was nothing special. I'd left school with no I left school with a Mitre Delta. That was all they had when I left school, do you know what I mean? I had no qualifications. And like, I was literally like, I had not, you know, and I was dead low on self-belief, self-confidence and stuff. I was, you know, and I thought to myself, I got myself to that stage where I had that idea, and I thought, if I can do that, if I can change, if I can come from that, everybody's got so much potential. I'd done loads and loads of reading, and I was dead interested in, like, humans and the minds and stuff, and I realised how many people are really, like, obviously a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people's lives get impacted really hard, you know, through bereavement and illness and stuff like that. But I realised that, you know, everybody deep down's got a massive potential.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, just by spreading the word of, like, come on, if we want to see change, let's who are we waiting for? Because
you can get stuck in that rut though, Kev, just like talking about problems all the time, but it's solutions, innit?
100%.
That's what we want to see, is solutions, isn't it? Because that negative energy can get you, mate, where you're just posting and posting and posting, you're getting angry, but it's time for people to stand up, isn't it, mate?
It is.
This is the time now for people to stand up in the city, leaders and positive role models to really, really make a stand and lead by example, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I
100%,
feel,
mate.
you know, in some ways we've come into this loop where, like, people, you know, people don't, when I used to say, like, about the, even when I say that now about the world getting better, I'm always posting stuff now. I genuinely believe that in 10 years' time, if we wanted it, this world could be amazing. This could be an amazing place, but it comes from having a belief first. And if you believe in 10 years, this world's going to be like 100 times worse than it is now, it will be, won't it?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what you believe, you're just accepting then, aren't you? But if you believe that in 10 years' time, the world's going to be an amazing place, then you won't accept it then, will you? So it's like you say, it's, you know, if we all have a vision of a better world, if we all believe it can happen. I mean, even look, for one thing, for instance, is like the litter on the streets. If we all believe that we should have clean pavements and no litter, we'd all strive for that, wouldn't we? And we wouldn't accept the crap. And it's sometimes we've got into this like sort of comfort zone where we just accept that these are just our circumstances and that's how it's got to be. But with me, I don't see that. I see, obviously, a community should be there always to support people whose lives at hard times, because we've seen that so many times over the years where, you know, people's lives are impacted really, you know, at the drop of an hat, everything can change. When you know that yourself from when you were a kid. But a community should always be there for people whose lives are at hard times, but at the same time, a community should be striving to be better, shouldn't it? And
That's why people have got to stand up in the community, Kevin, and make a real difference, you know what I mean? Because there is a lack of positive male role models, isn't there? Mm-hmm. There is, you know what I mean? And it's like, I love our city's the best city in the world, I absolutely love it, but sometimes when you stand up and pop your head out that parapet, mate, you get attacked, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like the minute that you start talking about certain things and that, you're a ming or a divvy, and then that comes down to the kids then, doesn't it? So for me, it's about getting into the kids. And you know, we speak all the time, don't we, about it, Kevin, prevention's better than cure. Yeah. You've got to get into the kids, in my opinion. That's where it's got to go grassroots. You need to get into the kids and instill in them, like, because this city's boss, but it's like, it's so materialistic and it's got this massive ego. It's great. We've got all the potential in the world. It's like a fucking boss bike, isn't it? But the wheels buckled. That's my opinion. Do you know what I mean? That's not me slaughtering the city. I think we were so powerful. We've got we're a brilliant city, but there's just a few things that need addressing. And it's not like, I don't want to be negative towards Liverpool, but that's just my opinion, mate. You know what I mean? A few things. People just need to stand up and speak the truth and start leading by example.
100%, mate. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of deep-rooted things that we need to look at ourselves about. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, about, like I say, this podcast, part of this is to inspire, to empower what we do, even through the charity. Now we're doing workshops with the kids, leadership workshops. You're going to be working really closely on that with me. And definitely the kids need to hear a different language, like you say. Me and you being called a ming because we talk about kindness and wanting to do good things. And I always used to say, like, people could pick like the local paper up and, you know, page 1 someone's been murdered, page 2 there's been like an assault, page 3 there's been a robbery. People will just flick through it and won't even flinch. Just page 4 someone's being kind and it's like, oh my god, look at that, page 4 someone's being kind, isn't that weird? But like, murder's not weird. Like, assaults aren't weird. Like, Saturday nights in Liverpool can be like a battlefield. That's just what it is. But like, for us to say in 10 years time we want the world to be a better place, that's just like not accepted. It doesn't make sense, does it? And
no, we've got to be the change. We've got to live it and lead by example. And more people have got to do it, in my opinion.
100%. I do feel it is, you know, it's a scary thing to stick your head out the parapet, isn't it? You know, like, I'm even sitting here doing this, I'm well out of my comfort zone here.
I'm well and truly out of it.
I'd sooner be sat at home now, do you know what I mean? And but I feel like we've got a message. Me and you have talked for years about all this stuff, haven't we? And we go deep in that, and there's a lot of stuff we come out with, and, you know, a lot behind what we do where, like you said before, it's not, we're a charity, but it's not to me. Like people say to me, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I don't want to look and think in 10 years, you know, it'll be that bad and we'll have to be helping 100,000 people. I don't want to strive for that. That's not
success. Be here in 10 years, would you? In an ideal world, Kevin. So that's my thing is like, I had this conversation yesterday with a friend of mine, Lynn, and there is a place for it, but it's plasters over bullet wounds and dealing with symptoms when there's a root cause. That's my opinion. We speak about it all the time, don't we, Kev? So it's like, you don't want to be going out and doing this and dealing with all these symptoms. It's just go and get to the fucking root, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And let's start fixing the root. Like there's that quote that I told you about, isn't it? Stop pulling people out the stream and go further up and see who's pushing them in or see why they're falling in. And that's why I got an Owl for Others from day one. Yeah. It's for me, it's when families are reaching out to you or whatever criteria they've got to meet and they get in touch with an Owl for Others, it's reach one, teach one. That's how I see it. Grab them and pull them up with us. Give them something to work with, not just go bang, here's a food hamper or here's that. And I'm not slagging anyone off doing that, but it's not changing much, is there? Like they will eat that night and families do need to eat that night or families do need immediate help. But let's get to the root. Yeah, let's get in there and work with them and see what we can do with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean often like, you know, we have coffee mornings and that, and often, you know, just for like someone to make the step to get on the bus, to come in and meet other families, that is a massive, you know, that's a massive step to like think, oh, you know what, that wasn't that bad actually. Yeah. And like, you know, and that's all you need, isn't it? And for someone to be there to believe in you and to say, listen, you can be whatever you want to be, you're amazing. I mean, and I've seen the results in the coaching so far. It's been, you know, just to, you know, you're not even really doing nothing, you're just sitting there and believing in someone. Because I genuinely feel that every single person has got a fire inside them, and when that fire's roaring, you're giving your best into the world, you know, you're putting your best into the world, you're being part of the change, you're being a leader. Everyone's got that fire in them to be that. Nobody hasn't. It's just that obviously, you know, we've been beaten, haven't we, over the years, and our fires have been extinguished in, you know, in a lot of circumstances. And I just feel like a bit of empowerment, a bit of inspiration, a bit of like, right, come on, you know, let's put our arm around you. That's all that's needed, isn't it, to get that fire to start burning again?
Where are you getting that? If you know, where's that getting taught? This is why I'm saying about people need to stand up now, and a lot of people don't understand how powerful they are, Kev, that's it. Yeah. A lot of people don't get it. So it's like, I always say, like, it's like looking through a fucking bog roll, innit? An empty bog roll, and that's all you can see. Take it away and have a look, it's all there, innit?
It's a bigger picture.
Bigger picture, man. And like, people don't understand how powerful they are. So it's on the likes of us who've come to an awareness, do you know what I mean, to start speaking about it and reaching people and teaching them.
100%. And like we've said, over the years, you know, you were always alongside us over the years, so this was always going to happen where you were on the team and you were always getting involved in the community, and obviously we've seen the results of what you've done and then what we've been doing over the years. Like we've seen, you know, this is only our 8th year, so as a charity we're still babies really, do you know what I mean? But the impact in people's lives is there to see, the impact in communities, the impact to speaking, you know, going into schools and speaking to kids when after you've spoke to them, you know, you'll get a phone call to say like that one of the kids wants to do fundraising, they want to do like
unbelievable, isn't it?
Little Jacob from All Saints has done like he done a 26-mile run with his mum over like a couple of weeks, and then a couple of months ago he done 66 lengths to raise money because he wanted us to buy food to give to kids who couldn't afford it, you know, families who couldn't afford it. And them little messages, it's planting seeds and the kids pick up on it. And I think like me when I was growing up and you yourself, it was the role models we looked up to were like gangsters and stuff, weren't they? And and that was, there's a thing in Liverpool, isn't it, where, you know, it's about being like hard case, it's about, you know, anyone who talks about kindness is seen as a weakness, isn't it? Yeah. But we've realised over the years, it's not speaking about kindness, speaking about no real stuff, it's a strength, isn't it? Because it takes guts. You know, I've had hundreds and hundreds of days, you know, of stress through the years because literally I've stuck my head out the parapet and, you know, we'll talk about stuff and I'll speak about truth and stuff and you know, the easiest thing to do is to just fade back into the crowd and just go along with the crowd, isn't it? And
That's what we do as humans. We're like naturally sheep, aren't we? So when the majority of people are doing something, it's like they follow, don't they? Yeah. So the more people that you can inspire to speak the way we speak and to do positive things in the community, stand up and not be scared of and not live in fear of judgment of others, you know what I mean? The more people that do that, the rest will follow anyway. Because that's just a natural human thing to do, isn't it? Is to follow the crowd, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how movements start, Kev's like, I always say in the COP, not everyone stands up and sings at once, do they? Someone gets up with a bit of balls, don't they, and sings, and then the next thing everyone just jumps on it then, and then the fucking whole stadium singing. That's how movements start, mate. But sometimes, like, I done it, mate. I was a bad people pleaser for years and that, Kevin. Then, like, sometimes, like, I'd go to put a status. I've always been quite outspoken, do you know what I mean? But sometimes I'd go to put something on Facebook, then I'd think, oh, what will he think of me? Yeah. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't give a fuck. I was right anything, like, but
I think it's when you become more comfortable in yourself, isn't it?
100%. Like how many people, how many people are living in fear of being judged by others and scared to voice their opinion? Yeah, exactly. It's sound to have a difference of opinion with others, you know.
And respect each other.
Yeah, what's happened to that?
You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to agree with someone. But if, you know, your truth's your truth, you just be comfortable with your own. Yeah. Your truth doesn't have to be somebody else's truth. No. Somebody else's truth is their perspective. As long as you're not being horrible about it, you know what I mean? But you're just standing in your truth and speaking what you believe to be true, and you're not nasty about it, and you're not singling people out. What's the problem? 100%. We've got that we can disagree on things, haven't we? Yeah, and I mean, that is the massive, you know, the massive thing, worrying about what other people think. It's, you know, but to me, I'd rather go to bed at night knowing I'm being true to myself and doing, you know, trying to do some good in the world and have no mates than like be fake and have 1,000 mates and, you know, just be going along with what other people are saying. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and definitely. It's like when we have the kids groups, and I always say to the kids, and I brought my own lad up exactly the same, and I've said to him, you know, if you're in the schoolyard and like someone walks in and they got a yellow pair of boots on and like a yellow and orange scarf or something, it's the easiest thing is to rip them, isn't it? It's the easiest thing is to all get in that crowd and rip them because they've got their own style, they're different, they're unique. So, but when you think about it, look how good that is to be different, to have the balls to actually turn up at school, to be different, brave, innit? To, you know, follow, actually, I don't really want to dress like everyone else, I want to follow my own style. You know, respect that, that's amazing, and that's what we tell the kids, you know, and go over, speak to them, you know, what difference does it make? You don't have to dress like that. Do you know what I mean? It is definitely a thing about... But it's got to come from us to pass down to them, hasn't it? So if we're not doing it, and, you know, when we're going out and we're behaving like that, or we're going out and buying £500 trainees or £500 jackets and that, it's, you know what I mean? It's going that spilling down to them, innit? Yeah. We've got to lead by example. Well, we've got to show them. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what, you know, the essence of an hour for others is leading by example. It's, you know, every area that we you know, obviously the idea came from me being a painter and decorator. It started off, you know, we were doing community centres, you were on them with me painting, weren't you? Then obviously we were doing bedrooms, and then a few businesses got involved who were giving us flooring and stuff like that, beds and things. And then it started to evolve then, because obviously I started to, you know, look at the deeper issues in Liverpool, and obviously Liverpool's got a serious problem with, you know, illness, health and well-being, you know, heart disease, cancers, obesity, mental health illnesses is, you know, rife in Liverpool. And I thought the concept would be good then to go towards the health and well-being, where a health and well-being expert can give their time, you know, free to help with, you know, whether it's a PT class, mindfulness, chef's cooking, like showing families how to cook healthy on a tight budget. But same, like going back to what you just said, is to show the kids, look, this is how a community should be, just so it starts to just seep into their like consciousness, where they're saying, oh yeah, look at this, look at the way people are coming together here and helping each other and getting that message across. And then obviously from the health and well-being, from me doing the painting, like I say, I was getting lads who were saying, listen, I'll help you with the painting, and I was like, no, I don't want you to. You just like, it's all right going into someone's house, but then you walk away and you've painted the carpet magnolia and stuff, isn't it? So I ended up saying, like, do something else. So it became an acts of kindness, we call it, where obviously we get tickets donated, or people who've got it, you know, we've been to like on holiday and stuff, and we've told the hotel owners about an hour for others, and the hotel owners have given us like 2 nights stay for families and things, and that goes, you know, obviously if someone's lost a family member to cancer or they're going through illness, you know, just to sort of give them a little bit of a lift, just to show that a community's there for them. Then we've got the unity in the community, which came from when we used to do the community centres. We realised, didn't we, that, you know, there's a lot of community centres out there who struggle for funding, and for us to send in a team, you know, like we had a lot of businesses coming towards us and saying, what can we do to help? So we take them out to the community centres to do a bit of painting or gardening or cleaning, and, you know, that'll hopefully, you know, obviously keep the centre up to scratch and stuff, but also save them money. And it's good for the businesses to get involved with, you know, teamwork. And then we have the Christmas mission, which is literally like, it's like Father Christmas's grotto in here at Christmas. So that's just like the Christmas gone there. I think we got donated £30,000 worth of toys and stuff that went to the 150 kids right across the city. Every single kid, we you know, we found out what the kid wanted for Christmas, because we thought it's important that we give them the right present. They don't just wake up with like something
that they want, innit?
Yeah, it's something that they want, a little wish. And you know, that went massive. People just come together. It was unbelievable to see. Then we've got the kids half-term groups, which was gone brilliant. We had last summer, we had Webster, who taught the kids how to, you were there, weren't you, Todd? Taught the kids how to play the guitar. Boss. Done a bit of drumming. He was giving them little inspirational talks. He was brilliant. Then we had a sing-song and everything. Yeah. Then we had an outdoor survival day. We went to Parboils and we done that, so we're getting the kids, as well as education, it's also, you know, fun. So we went out, done a bit of outdoor survival. A mate of mine, Larry, used to be an ex-Royal Marine, so he'd give his day up and showed the kids how to do campfires and that. We had a ball.
Sorry, Kev, to stop you. There's certain things as well, like in them groups, isn't it, that schools might not necessarily do, that could spark that little thing in the kids, isn't it? Like, you know, and them love doing that. Do you know what I mean? So you're offering that side of it, aren't you, where a kid could just go, oh, that's boss, that, and pursue something like that. I know you've got music and stuff in school, so, but other things that you do, it's not necessarily being done in the schools, is it? No. This is what's so important, what I believe, mate, is like, this is why it's so important that we do what we're going to be doing even this year coming up with the kids.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's planting the seeds. You know, it's not just about, like I say, even at the Christmas help, we get in touch with all the families who we've helped, and you know, we want them to get engaged with the health and well-being stuff, get some mindfulness, get some yoga in, you know, come and do a cookery course or something. And we want to build community. It's not just about giving, and that's why sometimes I'm a little bit wary of the name charity, because in some ways, like food banks and things and charities starting to become accepted as that's how the world should be. And like I say, in 10 years' time, I'd give anything for charities not to be needed. The concept behind an Hour for Others, I want it to be there forever and to grow stronger. Where, you know, I said in the very early days, human habit 25 years ago or 30 years ago, no one had a mobile phone, did they? Now we can't get away from them. So what's to say in another 25, 30 years? Doing your Hour for Others, just being kind, giving someone a nice compliment, not attaching to anger, being a bit mindful. What's to say that can't be human habit? And that's where change comes from. Everyone's sort of waiting for this person to come in and start waving a magic wand and say, here's your little world you want. When it's not going to come from that. The world that you want's in there, and it's your thoughts, what you're attached to, your behaviours that you're putting in, to your belief system. That is what is the change, isn't it? It's like, if you believe the world's against you, you'll see that every day in your life. If you believe everyone and everything is against you, you will go out into the street and you'll be looking for it, because you're looking for your beliefs to be backed up. Isn't it? So you could have the same two people have the same the same two people have the same day. So one of them believes the world's against them, the other one is positive and you know, thinks the world's an amazing place. The both of them get up late because the alarm goes off. The one who believes the world's against them, it's the end of the world already before they even got up, because the alarm never went off. Yeah. And they've attached to that, look, see, everything goes wrong for me, even my alarm clock. The person who's positive, so it is, just doesn't even let that affect them, carries on with the day. They get stuck in traffic, the two of them get stuck in traffic. The one who's, you know, really thinks the world's against them, that's it. Not a belief that just backs up their belief. The other person who's positive just sits back, what can I do about it? Just put my music on and just relax. So you can see, can't you, that it's just your perception of the world and your belief system and your thoughts. That person who's thought it was the worst day, you know, the world's against them, it was the worst day in the world for them when they get back home. The other person's had a great day. Yeah. Probably hasn't even remembered half of the bad things that's gone wrong. They've just been looking for positive. So every single day there's positives to take from every single day, isn't there? You know, the smallest things, you know, your kid phoning you, or, you know, even the sunshine and anything, you can make positives of any single day. But you can also find negatives. So depending on what you're looking for, you'll find it, won't you? Which will just, you know, which will cause you to believe that that's your reality.
But then you can look at it and think, well, these disempowering belief systems in the kids, because I had one growing up, you know what I mean? And they're formed through, like, references of you maybe being told you're not good enough, or not having, like, positive parents, you know what I mean? And they're just running off programs that they've been programmed from their parents. So it's like, this is, again, I feel like a broken record here, but this is why it's important for us to be each one teach one, you know what I mean? We need to be teaching all these that's not the way it is. Yeah. There is a way, it's alchemy, isn't it? Just flipping negative into positive, but not everyone knows how to do it. Mm-hmm. So this is why it's so important for, say, going into the schools and stuff like that, because you're not getting taught that in school, are you? No. You're genuinely not. So these belief systems that are formed in people from day one, some people have been blessed to have positive parents, haven't they? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That have taught them better, and some people have had a fucking hard life, haven't they? So sometimes then people with them disempowering belief systems, that's just being drummed into them and they don't know any different. So this is why, like I keep saying, it's not getting taught in the schools, which I believe should be part of the curriculum, you know what I mean? And more people I'm seeing are going into the schools, which is boss. And there is a big movement in this city about stuff like this, isn't it?
Definitely,
and it's amazing to see. And the more people that are just standing up and doing this, I've got nothing but credit for, mate.
Definitely, and like you've just said, and I think that's where my passion, me enthusiasm, and the same with you, is because we know this city's potential. This city is amazing. The kids are talented. The kids are amazing. Like, you know, and people are just, they've got hearts of gold, got proper talent that's there. It's just untapped, and I think we need to be speaking in a more empowering language. You know, in the school system, in the political system, in every single system. We need to be empowering people and starting to believe that life can be better than what it is, and you know, aspire and share a collective vision, and you know, even just instill values into a community. You know, a bit of honesty, respect, just respecting each other, respecting the areas that we live, instead of just lashing shite all over the floor and just not caring. Starting to care about each other, you know, being a bit empathic and not looking at that as if it's like, as if that's a bad thing or it's a weakness. It's not a weakness whatsoever. At the end of the day, who wants to live in a worse world? You know, everyone must surely want to live in a better world. Everyone, mustn't
everyone, because that's how you're building the communities, because it is in the name, in a common unity. Yeah. And it's people having a common value or a common purpose, united in unity and coming together. But that's why, again, it's on us, mate, as role models, to stand up and do our talking while we're doing the walk, you know what I mean? Yeah. Do your talking while you're walking. We've got to live the life and be the change and lead by example for the kids, for them to look up to us and go, well, they do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? When it's coming from, sorry Kev, when it's coming from like lads like us, do you know what I mean? And they look and we dress like them and we sound like them. It's like, what are you doing it? Yeah. It's powerful, isn't it?
Exactly,
you know, look at lads like Scallies and that, who have turned their life around, and they're going, he's all right, Tim, he's not a ming, he's not a divvy. Yeah. And he's doing it, and that's my angle on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember that, like, early on when I was working, like I say, in the kids' homes, and that got put into the, like, referral units for kids who had challenging behaviour. So it was basically like a school after they'd been expelled. And I remember doing dead well with the kids there, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just talking to them like the same level as they are, and they looked up to that. It was, I think I started...
You respect it, mate, don't you?
Yeah, well, I was like a teaching assistant. I didn't have a clue about bloody any maths and all that, you know what I mean? And you know, there was even one day, one of the kids, I was like an assistant, and one of the kids was doing his maths stuff, And he said to me, like, sir, can you help us with this? And when I looked over the shoulder, it was all like graphs and triangles and all this. I thought, what's that? So I just said, I thought I have to think quick. I said, listen, mate, I said, I'd love to tell you, but I'm not going to be there at your exam with you, am I? And he went, oh, no, good point. I was thinking, I haven't got a clue. but the point is, on the day I started there was a lad started from university. And I felt dead, like, I felt sort of inferior to him, and I thought, he's going to thrive here. By 12 o'clock that first day, he was getting carted out, crying, because the kids had terrorised him.
Take it anymore.
And I ended up there for months, and I'd done well, and I think that was one of the first times I realised, oh my God, this is like this is my calling, I'm having an impact on people's lives, kids' lives. And I don't really know what it is I'm doing. I'm just being myself.
You went in with self-doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Went in and I genuinely think the kids need, like you said, the kids need role models. They need fellas to stand up and stop with this egotistical, like, macho nonsense, like trying to be an hard case. Start just speaking nice. Let's just start building a nicer world for the kids. Let's just, And instead of, like, having a go at that, I'm not asked anyway if people slag me off for the way I talk. I'm not bothered now, but, we do get slagged off. Lads like this in the city who are trying to make a difference, and there's loads of them, are getting slagged off by fellas who are just, like, they're not doing anything. It's like, come on, just lose that and just have a bit of respect for people trying to make a difference.
Definitely, if you've got kids, because, the kids are the future, aren't they? So if you want your future fucked, then keep sitting on your ass, isn't it? I'm not scared anymore, Kev. Like I say, I used to be a bit of a people pleaser, and I used to think, should I post that? But I didn't give a fuck. I'm living in my truth. I'm just a normal lad having a go, and that's it. And I want to leave a better world for my kids, and it's as simple as that, isn't it?
Exactly,
it's got
mate.
to come from us, hasn't it?
It has, and at the end of the day, I've thought a few times, if you transport yourself like 50 years into the future, and them kids in school getting taught about this generation, I don't want to be remembered as a generation that caused, like,
failed,
that never done that and let the world go to rack and ruin, and, like, they never stepped in and tried to make a difference, and, like I say, at least build community and, support people so they know that in the darkest hour, if they lose a job or if they have a death in the family or an illness, there's people there for them, or, people who are genuinely struggling because of the lack of self-belief and the self-doubt and the living in poverty and stuff. To know that there was people there for them. So I want to be remembered as the generation that we had a go, want to get to my deathbed, and I can sit back and I'll think, you know what, I never left a stone unturned. I tried everything. Definitely. Done everything I could, put everything I could into the world to try and make a better place. No, everything that's going to be on this podcast, and it's already started now because we're flowing, it's from the heart, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like I was going to say, we're going to be going full-scale Derek Acora, weren't we? We weren't going to, like, have any structure. It was like, whatever comes in, it's going to, it's just, I'm getting Mary loves. But that's how this is going to go. It's just got to go organic, Kev. I can't be asked with a script and reading fucking bullet points. It's just whatever comes out, mate. It's that simple. It's just passion. It's from the heart, do you know what I mean? And so I'm looking forward to getting some of the guests on. I'm looking forward to hearing your story. Yeah. I mean, some of the stories, if you look back from an hour for others now, it's like we could literally write a book. It's been a journey. So even 8 years down the line, it's been an absolute journey already. And this is another part of the little journey now. Do you know what I mean? This is, like I say, I think it's a boss way of getting across, like you say, the meaning of an hour for others, what we've got coming up, what we're doing and stuff. I mean, even if you take in the last couple of weeks alone, we had a phone call 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks ago, sorry, a couple of months ago it was. There was a girl who was 33, had died of cancer, and a little 12-year-old girl was obviously left, but she had to move back into her nan's house. So the nan had 3 bedrooms, but one of the bedroom that the little girl was going to go in, it was like needed decorating and stuff. So we put it out there, and in no time we had a painting and decorating firm involved. Amazing, man. We had we had a builder involved. We had people donated like the birthday stuff on Facebook. We bought a bed, bought shelving. one of my mates, our mate Dave Williams from school, he's got a flooring company.
Boss.
He put the floor down, Vale Decorators painted it. Mersey Developments came in, he's actually putting the telly up today, so by like this week we'll have the pictures and stuff to show of the room before and after, and it's amazing, you know, that community comes together. And even the other day there was a case at a 15-year-old lad and a 13-year-old girl had to flee domestic violence with the mum, and literally they had to leave everything, so they had no clothes, so we just put it out on social media. 250 like people just away, offering like honest to God new clothes.
I think I was in yours that night, weren't
it was pinging. They were offering money, they were offering clothes and all top of the range stuff and that, and it was like, it proper warms my heart, and it shows that it's like, you know, that people want to live in a better world, people want to help each other.
There's no city like this when for people coming together, Kev. There's no city like it when we're all united and we come together for something that's powerful, innit?
Yeah, it is definitely.
Powerful.
Yeah, and I've seen it over the years. I've seen it for years where, you know, it's, you know, often people didn't know how they could help, but I think when An Hour for Others came along, it was sort of like a little bit of a platform. Oh, that's how I can volunteer, that's how I can help. And like I say, over the years, God, some of the stories, you know, bloody hell. I mean, one of the I remember in the early days, one of our trustees, Wayne Scholes, absolutely lovely fella. Have you done that? You've ever met him? Have you at the gala?
Met him now.
I'll have to introduce boss fella.
I've heard all about him, like.
On morals, such good morals and that. And years ago, it was a Friday night, it was, and we were getting offered tickets for the match and stuff like that. So we got offered tickets on a Friday night for the I think it was the Centenary Lounge at Anfield, and we put it out on social media. It was to be playing Arsenal on the Saturday. We put it out on social media and said, has anyone got any like people who they get in mind? And people were writing in saying so and so. This girl sent a video in of a I think it was a nephew. He basically was only like 5 years old. He'd gone on holiday to Tenerife, or it might be Mallorca, and they showed the video of him at Liverpool airport on his way there in his little Liverpool kit. And then the next photo, he was on a life support machine. He drowned in the pool. He got into the pool and his mum and dad had literally turned the back for like 2 seconds, couldn't find him, and he was at the bottom of the pool and he had brain damage. So we put it out. We give them the tickets, but then next minute, because he was in a wheelchair, we couldn't get him in the Centenary Lounge. So I was proper gutted. I said to the girl, listen, unless a miracle happens, we can't do nothing for you. And literally 10 minutes later, the phone goes. It was Andy Eaton from the Anfield app said to me, there's a fella called Wayne Scholes who really wants to help you out. He runs a business called Red Such Media. He wants to help you out. He hadn't even seen the story. He was just offering us tickets for the game the next day. And as it happened, he had an executive box. So we got us the tickets for the executive box, which we could get a wheelchair in. So I phoned the girl up and we got the little lad in. And as it happens, on that day, it was Gerrard and Carragher were in the next executive box. And they got a picture took with them and stuff like that. So we've had, you know, I mean, and that's one.
No, so many synchronicities, isn't it?
It's just mad,
Kev, when you like, sometimes like the stories you told me is when it was probably going to go tits up. Something just happens, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Out of the blue, yeah, it does.
Brilliant, isn't it?
You know, a phone call. We'll get a phone call, and you know, it's been a story from day one. Like I say, even at the very start, I was working in the factory at the time. I had an idea. I'd met Jill. She was a top accountant and stuff like that. She took redundancy so she could fund me to get out the factory, so she could fund me to get this idea up and running. And it's literally it's just been like a jigsaw puzzle where we've been working through it for years, and it evolves all the time, do you know what I mean? But like I say, the message behind it is that we've all got a part to play in community. We're all like I always liken it to a machine. So every one of us is part of a machine. The community is a machine. If one of them parts isn't working, the whole machine fails, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And when everyone, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter what your role is, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're doing that to the best of your ability and you're putting something in the community is like a well-oiled machine, isn't it?
Yeah. I always say that like you're in a boat with paddles, with oars or whatever, you know what I mean? Everyone's got to have a go, haven't they?
Yeah, it comes down to everyone. It's not about one person like giving 100% and everyone else giving 1%. It's about 100% of people, even giving 1%, isn't it? And just 1% better each day. Just deciding, like today, I'm going to try a little bit better than I did yesterday. I'm going to do my best. And like I say, that's why this platform is there. We've always said, we're there to help people who are willing to help themselves. If you're willing to, just whatever it may be, to help yourself, come on, we'll support you. Do you know what I mean? But if you're not willing to help yourself, then how can anybody help you if you're not willing to help yourself? You know, the circumstances come where people literally can't help themselves. Yeah. But there's so many circumstances where people can, and they've got to be willing to. And that to me is what I've just said before. That is just stoking that little fire inside them to get that burning.
That's where real change happens as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? You're not, like I said before, you're not just whacking a plaster on a bullet wound, you know what I mean? You like, come on, work with us. Yeah. Come alongside us, let's create this community together. And it's like the old Bible shows, isn't it? You know what I mean? Give a man a fish and he leave for the night, or give a man a fishing rod, teach him how to fish. You'll be able to feed him and his family forever. So that's what it's about. That's why I've got it from day one, Kevin. That's why I'm buzzing to be on board now, mate.
I'm made up to have you on board. Yeah, it was like, you're like the Lionel Messi of the wisdom world, aren't you? I said,
I'm fucking flapping it on this camera, lads. Well, that's sweating like a fucking lizard.
Like I say, that's another one of the things why we're doing it, because it's about coming out of your comfort zone.
Well, if I'm going to preach it, I can't fucking, you know what I mean? I've got to go and do it myself.
I'm a million miles out of my comfort zone, so I feel like Trevor McDonald's or something sitting here, do you know what I mean?
What is it?
Are you not far behind? And you're 9 years younger, aren't you?
Do you know what, mate? Like I said to you before, it sounds on my terms, you know what I mean? I can do a video and bang it out there. You're in your comfort zone, aren't you? Yeah. On your own doing it, you know what I mean? Or putting it on Facebook on a 2D platform, sound. But this is fucking well out my comfort zone. But
do you know what, though?
It's got to be done, mate.
It has got to be done. And like I say, if it inspires one person, if it gets one business to like realise, look, I can get involved with them. If it, you know, if one person thinks, yeah, I want to get in touch with them to get some support because I want to like better my circumstances. If it changes a kid to think, if it does just one thing, it was worth it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And like I say, comfort zones and stuff. That's one of the things we've got to realise. And it's about coming out of your comfort zone. It's about going into the unknown. We're into the unknown here. We don't know where this is going to go. You know, hopefully it'll get bigger and bigger, and you know it will be part of inspiring people. But I mean, even doing an hour for others, I was out of my comfort zone from day one. It was like, I think after the first week, I was just like literally had this idea, and people were just throwing things at me. And someone turned around to me and said, why don't you get in touch with Age Concern? They've obviously got loads of elderly people who you know, they could connect you with to do painting and stuff. So I thought, Sam, that's a good idea. So I rang Age Concern. At the time, didn't have a diary or a planner, you know what I mean? It was from a building site, didn't do all that shit, you know what I mean? And phoned them up, and they said, so I just told them about my idea. They said, okay, Sam, we get meeting on Tuesday. All I remember from the conversation was a meeting on Tuesday. So Tuesday came, goes up to the Age Concern, I think it was on Sir Thomas Street, goes into the reception. There was an elderly lady on the reception, and she just said, can you help you? I said, yeah, Kevin Morland, I've got an idea. I don't know whether I even had the name an hour for others at the time then. And she said, oh, you're not on the list. Who's you meeting with? I said, I can't remember. I haven't put it down. She said, was it a man or a woman? I said, I can't even remember that. So she sat me down, and I was sitting there for 20 minutes. She was doing ringing round, and she said, we've got you. You're in the boardroom. And I'm thinking, the boardroom? I don't remember like the boardroom getting mentioned. So girl comes down, takes me in the lift, goes up to the top, goes into this, she opens this big massive wooden door, goes into this boardroom, big massive table with all people sat around with suits on and everything. And I was like so far out of my comfort zone. I felt like running across the floor and diving out of the window at the other end, you know what I mean? And just pretending it never happened. But I just thought, no, I'll have to go for it. So the fella that like said to me, what's your name? So I said, Kevin Morland. I've got the idea, like of it. I can't remember if he had the name. I just told him the idea. He said, oh, it sounds really good. Yeah, sit down. He said, I haven't got you on the list, but I'll put you on. Next minute, started the meeting. He said, okay, seeing as we've got a new person here, Kevin Morland, he's going to tell you all about his idea. So I'm standing, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't think I was doing this. So I'm presenting in front of, I think it was the AGM of Age Concern people. So they're all looking at me like that, you know what I mean? Taking notes and everything. And I'm thinking, I was burning up like never before. I was sweating. I had no no saliva in my mouth and nothing, I needed water. And 10 minutes into me talk, they said, right, any questions? So they all started asking me questions and stuff, and I was like, I just wanted to run away. Anyway, the door opened in the corner. This girl pops her head in and she said, is Kevin Morland in here? And I said, yeah. She said, Linda's waiting next door for you. So I was like, that, what do you mean? So I was supposed to be next door with Linda. So it goes next door and there's this Linda with the kettle on, laughing her head off with 2 cups of tea. She said, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. But the mad thing is, it was like that was meant to happen because I was so far out of my comfort zone and I felt so embarrassed. But little things like that just started thinking, you know what, so what? Yeah. And then I think a few weeks later, I actually had to do a pitch at an event. And because of that experience, it sort of came from then. And like you said, at the end of the day, if it means sticking your head out the parapet to try and create change, to try and build a community, then so be it. Let's do it, isn't it?
I think it's going to be boss when we get the guests on, people who are active in the city, having a go and just networking with each other, you know what I mean, and getting on and getting their story and their visions and just showing everybody what's happening in the city, because not a lot of people know, do they, what's going on.
No, definitely.
It's on fire. Liverpool's flying, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely flying. People, I mean, it's every single day we're hearing about new, little organisations or new little ventures that are doing some amazing things. And like I say, our motto has always been together we're strong. So why can't we all do a little bit together? Why can't we all pull together instead of thinking that, oh, I'm doing my thing here, you're doing yours there, and this competition thing starts. Let's just work together. And that was part of the thing with the Unity in the Community Days, going to other community centres, was trying to develop links with each other. And like I say, it'd be brilliant to have them on the podcast, to share their positive stories. And I think the world needs positive stories. I think the world needs to hear truth. It needs to hear realness, doesn't it? Yeah. I think it needs to, I don't know about you, I got sick of hearing negativity years ago. It was constant, wasn't it? And I think we need to start realising the potential this city's got and the good that's in this city. And, we're not a lost cause. We've got everything to strive for. We've got a vision there of a better world, and let's start working together to strive for it, isn't it?
100%, Kev, yeah. I couldn't agree more, mate. Yeah, it'll just be brilliant getting everyone on and showing everyone. And we've got things coming up this year, haven't we? Big things. So do you want to touch on that, Kev?
Yeah. Well,
we want to get people. What is the Snowden, isn't it? And
we've got obviously we have fundraising going on. So we've got Snowden. I think that's, I can't remember. I think that's in April.
Do you know, even the likes of that, Kev, last year, mate, I'd done Mole Famine and things like that. I'd never done a mountain until I was 37. I genuinely hadn't done it, you know what I mean? And that sense of accomplishment, for some people out there, they can help us, help others, can't they? Coming and doing that and being part of that fundraiser. But that's massive for them. So there's opportunities for people to be getting involved with us, isn't there? And they're going to be obviously indirectly, whatever, helping us, aren't they? Help others. But that for them, that sense of accomplishment when you get up them mountains and that is brilliant, isn't it?
It's amazing. We had we done it last summer, Snowden, and it was amazing. And some of the families came up with us. But we had some of the families with us who were raising money for us, and as that was their little thank you, and I'm part of this, and it felt amazing. We had a ball, and some of the kids were there and they were crying, and the struggles all the way up, and we went as a team, and we'd have to wait, and there was times when I was thinking, because I seen them get up there and some of the legs were cut and bruised and you could see the pain in the face, but I thought, you know what, let's just not stop them, let's just let them keep going, let them keep. And they got to the top, they flew to the top, and that sense of achievement doing something like that, it's just it's second to none.
But it's life-changing to some people, because some people are just stuck in the city, on council estates, you know what I mean, and they've never done anything like that. I hadn't done anything like that till I was 37, like I said, Kevin. You're looking at that mountain there, and it's what we say, everything that you want to accomplish is on the other side of fear. Going out your comfort zone, you've never walked a mountain, you might be overweight. Get up there, you know what I mean?
100%. I mean, well, we've got that anyway. Snowden's coming up. We've booked the gala, and we've gone and booked the gala on FA Cup final day.
Oh, have you, yeah?
So if Liverpool and Everton get to the FA Cup final,
Big screen.
there'll be me and Jill in the there'll be me and Jill in the gala.
And Lee Butler.
And Lee Butler, yeah. But Lee'll probably be watching the match. So,
that, yeah.
So we're in a bit of a sticky situation there.
What's that, the 14th of May?
The 14th of May. So that's coming up. We've got, what else have we got? We've got the abseil.
Is that at the Cathedral, or was that the last year's one?
The Cathedral again. Susie Kane, who's part of our team, Susie went over it. She was terrified last year. She came down like she was one of them SAS and the Iranian embassy. She flew down it. So Jill's doing it this year.
Is she, yeah?
So she's terrified.
Like that, Jill?
No, she's terrified, Jill.
How many, is there still spaces on that?
Yeah, so...
There's spaces on Snowdon, isn't there, loads?
There's loads of spaces on Snowdon. Yeah. So we've got that, the abseil, the zip wire, which is amazing. I done the zip wire the other year, one of the best things I've ever done. Then obviously going into the operational stuff that we've got going, we're going to be doing 6 full bedroom refurbishments. We've already done one of well, it'll be 10 bedrooms. It's in 6 houses. So obviously, you know, there's 3 or 4 kids in some of the families, and these are families who've been through really hard times. Like some of them have lost their mum to cancer. Yeah. Some have been gone to live with the nan because of like circumstances with the family. Others live in poverty but really I've been, you know, giving their all and helping and getting involved in the kids groups, getting involved in the health and wellbeing group. So, you know, this is part of that, you know, to improve the living conditions, but it's also a real reward for them being involved in community. And we've got 6 of them coming up, so we're always looking for businesses to get involved, decorating firms, builders, bedroom furniture. We're desperate for bedroom furniture.
So if anyone's out there with any links to bedroom furniture,
bedroom furnitures, flooring companies, because basically what we want to do, we don't just want to go in and just paint the walls and decorate the walls and then put the old furniture back in. We want to do the whole shebang. Total revamp. Give the kids a boss space, improve the conditions, give them a brilliant night's sleep, which is the knock-on effect in the community is unbelievable. And even we always that knock-on effect, it was hard to measure because, you know, it wasn't just painting the kids' bedroom, it's the fact that they go to school in a better mood, they sleep better, they perform better, then the knock-on effect to their family, to the friends, they feel safer, they have a nicer space to live in. It goes into society like a ripple effect. So we actually had Helen Ball, lovely girl who does social value. Spent a good few months doing a social value calculation for us, which was what we're putting into the community. There's a value to that, you know, as the knock-on effect. So it was worked out that for every £1 that's donated to us or through us, whether that's time, skills, materials, donations, whatever it is, that is a return of £11.63 into the community. Wow. So £11.63, and me personally, I think you can't even put a measure on it. The knock-on effect of kindness of community coming together, it's immeasurable, you know, but £11.63 is huge. So that calculation worked out by what we want to do this year with the room. We want to do the room refurbishments at 10 beds for 10 kids, 10 bedrooms, sorry. The health and wellbeing groups, we want as many health and wellbeing experts, professionals to give their time if they can free. You know, whether that's running a group, mindfulness, yoga, dance, PT.
City's full of it, innit?
Football, yeah. That, you know, doing that. The unity in the communities we'll be doing every 2 months, where we'll be going, you know, reaching out to other community centres, getting the businesses involved. Acts of kindness, the Christmas stuff. We've worked out in 2022, that'll be £2.3 million worth of social value going back into Liverpool. Wow. Which is, and like I say, the knock-on effect again, it's, you know, people feel, you feel better when you know there's people there, good people who are willing to help, and, you know, and businesses connecting with us. And at the end of the day, it's just up to everyone to pull a little bit, isn't it? And to do a little bit, you know, if we, for instance, with the bedroom refurbishments, if we have 10 flooring companies, that's literally 1 carpet to donate per year. Yeah. If we had 10 bed furniture places, even if they give us a discount, because we're going to be asking for donations towards that now, because it's hard when we go out and we're trying to get the beds and stuff for free. It can be hard sometimes, you know, because when they hear charity, it's like, so
it's horrible asking, isn't it? But
it is, but, you know, getting the donations now, if we've got a budget, I think it's like £560 per room. That's to buy like the lamps, the floor, and whatever needs to be bought, beds, That's the budget. So, you know, reaching out to businesses, you know, we'd rather keep the money in Liverpool as well. I don't want to go reaching out to like these big companies or, you know, the national ones. I'd rather try and keep the money in Liverpool if I could. Do you know what I mean? But there's loads
forward to, mate, isn't there?
There's loads, and this is definitely really going to be beneficial for us to keep spreading the message, to keep raising awareness about what it is, to point people in the direction, to see what's going on.
Just on Facebook, Kev, for years, it's like, obviously you'll bang the odd video and stuff like that, won't you? But no one knows when it's in the form of like a status, the deeper meaning behind this. So this is just a perfect extension of what you've been doing, isn't it, for time?
It is, yeah, because I think, do you know, obviously if you're a charity and it's a cancer charity, heart disease, people get it, don't they? People cancer, heart disease. But often people have said to me, like, what is it? And we come with we say it's bringing communities together to inspire a positive change. But the amount when people were asking me, I was saying different things all the time. So people, you know, there is a deeper meaning about it. You know, it's about building communities. It's about supporting each other. It's about, you know, creating a change in the world, a positive change in society. And that message can get across in this where, you know, people will understand, hopefully. And, you know, hopefully if more and more get involved, we can build it as big as it can go. And it can start. And he always said, there's no reason why an hour for others can't be in every part of the world. If you can have a kebab shop on every corner or a pizza shop or a chippy, why can't you have an hour for others on every corner in the world? And we have had attention from around the world. You know, in the early days, we were getting emails from Africa and America and all sorts of places. And there's someone in Scotland, in Perth, who's been looking at getting it set up and stuff like that. So I believe one day it will go to other parts of the world, and I believe it will inspire people. And like I say, it is about unity. And one of the points I meant to make as well, we always, because we're Liverpool fans, we always touch on Liverpool Football Club. There's been a link from the early days and from an hour for others with Liverpool Football Club, but I never ever wanted it to be like that. It's about Scousers, it's about unity. You know, the kids who we support, there's Everton fans, there's Liverpool fans, doesn't matter. I really hope that, like, I think another issue this city as it is the football rivalry, isn't it? I think we've seen it firsthand, haven't we? Yeah. You know, I used to be deep into all that crap, do you know what I mean? And like, and now I'm like, why were we arguing over a game of football? Yeah. And I mean, going back to the 80s, I remember like in the 80s in Liverpool, I remember going to the Milk Cup final when I was 9, and it was just like, I think something like 3/4 of the men from the city went to Wembley, and it was just Liverpool and Everton fans. It was just Scousers all together having a laugh on the coaches. And I want to get that back. I'd love to get that back. Do you know what I mean? It
started turning a bit nasty, didn't it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think the whole city in so many areas, we've got to, you know, I think there's nothing more important in this city than building a better community, than building a better future for our kids. I don't think, well, I know football doesn't come before that. Nothing comes before that. Politics, nothing. Humanity comes before everything, doesn't it? 1,000,000%. And like I say, that's what this is about, an hour for others, and I'm made up to have you as part of the team. So
nice one, mate.
I didn't know what to introduce you as, by the way, because your name is actually John Paul.
No one knows me fucking name, dude. You know what I mean? No one knows me as my name.
But you're Toddy, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's boss to be on board, mate. And even like that social value, how much fucking, like, you know, how much have you put into the city? It'd be boss if you had from day one, wouldn't it? To now,
it's how millions.
It's millions, and then probably billions with the ripple effect.
Yeah, it's, you know,
and sink the full organisation with an Epstein rant. Get me on board, mate. Give me the keys to this. You're like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, mate.
Well, you've already...
His parents are away.
I've said
Don't
to
let
Jill,
me loose on this, Kev.
You've got OCD as well, haven't you? So
I'm fucked.
You've been in the office today, so he came to see you, and he's been flapping because the light's gone off and stuff, and the clock's not working. He's had the brush out. He's polished the desk and everything, haven't you, Todd? So we're made up to have you on board just as the janitor, to be honest.
Just as the janitor, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it's going to be good, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, definitely. Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll wrap it up now anyway. I think we've rambled on, haven't we, for an hour and odd. So basically, I think the next few episodes, we're going to be doing them every 2 weeks or thereabouts. Yeah. So the next episode, we'll start with the story. So the deeper meaning, the story about, it'll start with me. Obviously, I founded it just about, like, you know, growing up and how it sort of, how it, the stuff that I went through and that, and how it became, to start up a charity. Then I think, obviously you're going to tell your story one day, which is going to be massive. Jill and Susie have got massive stories, but we might mix it up and put some guests in between. We've got some really boss guests, haven't we?
I think it's that important for people to see the stories, Kev, because they're going to know why we are at this point in our life now doing what we're going to be doing, you know what I mean? So, because
I think that's the most important thing is for people to realise that we've got nothing special. Well, not that we haven't got nothing special, but we've got nothing that nobody else has got. Yeah. We had, everybody has got it in them. If we can do it, if anyone can make the world a better place, everyone can do it. So it's to hear the stories and the reasons, and the stories are amazing, do you know what I mean? Like yours is so powerful, isn't it? So you just like powerful, mate, proper, from losing your dad and stuff like that. And Susie, again, she lost her dad. Jill, she was in a massive car crash when she was a kid. She was on a life support machine. She went through domestic violence. She became an accountant. Mine, a massive part of mine was Hillsborough, which I'm going to touch on, about basically knowing that I had a purpose in life. So I think it's important to get the backstories of how it's evolved to this time, and to, understand that you go through crap in your life, but you change as a person, you grow. And it's about growth, isn't it? It's about becoming a better person every day. And that'll show that story of how we've become to be here now.
Warts and all, innit?
Definitely. And then obviously we'll be throwing I've got some ideas around the kids stuff. So I love to get the kids involved. So I think we'll start like reaching out to the kids and asking them to send in a picture or something of a world that they want to see, or something in the community that they'd love to see.
Stories of what kids are doing in the community, you know what I mean?
Positive stories. We'll read them out. Yeah. If you send the stories in, you get a Blue Peter badge and stuff like that. And but we'll see what the kids want, because I think it's like I say in the kids' workshops, I say to the kids, you've got this is your future. We won't be here when when these kids are my age. When they're like 25, 26, when they're like 47, like me, we're not going to be here. So that future is getting built today. So why should they not have a part in that future?
They've got a big say in it.
Yeah, so let's get the kids sending in, pictures, drawings, stuff that they've done that's positive, and we'll try and read as many out. And definitely. And obviously try and take some of the ideas that the kids are bringing in. Let's try and do what the kids are saying, and let's do what the kids want to see in the world as well, isn't it? Definitely, 100%. So we leave it there for now, so it's been Boss.
Nice one, Kev.
And
thank you.
Yeah, so we see you next week.